I'll dream until I make it real, and all I see is...
Welcome to Mentorship Mondays with Michelle and Maren. I almost forgot my name for like 1 second. I almost forgot where I was, who I was. It's Monday. We're here. Actually, it's not Monday. We're recording it earlier than that, but we are here. We're happy to be with you guys. And another week has flown by. How are you doing, Maren?
I'm good. How are you, Michelle?
I'm good. I'm
Good.
doing good. Mm-hmm.
We have, it's like so cold out that the moisture in the air has just turned to like flurries. So
Yeah.
it's like we're living in like a real snow globe. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
It's been flurry like here too. Really cold. And you know what we forgot to say last week? And I didn't even realize when we were talking, but the full moon was on.
Oh,
Yeah,
wait, I sent you something.
you did. I didn't get it.
Oh my
Did
gosh,
you? Did you
January
email it to
25th,
me?
I think. I Instagram messaged it to you.
Oh,
When
okay,
is
that's fine.
January? I think it's January 25th. All the planets are in alignment.
Yes,
Okay,
I
that's
heard
going to be
that.
this Saturday.
Yeah,
All the planets are going to be in alignment. Even the moon is going to be in alignment. And it
yeah,
happens like once in a kabillion years.
yeah.
Not a kabillion. But, anyways, so that is a huge day to do some
To do
manifestations
your
and
stuff.
some,
So I
yeah.
wonder, like, I've not asked Spirit or really tuned into anything about that. And um, so this is going to be able to be seen from anywhere in the world, pretty much. It should be able to
Yeah.
be seen.
Yeah. I'm going like, yes. Oh, it's debunked. Once in 396 billion years planetary alignment, but somehow it debunked it. I don't know why.
Debunked.
Okay, but anyways, it's going to be happening.
Yeah,
It has
it is
begun.
happening.
6 planets have now aligned in the sky. Beginning with a 2-month-long grand alignment of planets, soon it will turn into 7-planet parade, and then Mercury will join the lineup. Okay, so it's happening. January 20. This one is saying January 21st. So like this week, it's all relevant this week.
Okay, so the moon's moving into Aquarius. For the I think here. So this is actually a really big time. Now we've known this, and I'm thinking of a few things because whenever we get together, there's always a theme that runs through, and it tends to be a theme that's going through everybody in some way. And I don't know about you, but I've been noticing quick changes, abrupt changes happening everywhere. Like things
Yes.
coming in fast, coming in hard. Sometimes it's expected, maybe not expected to happen the way it does. And sometimes it's completely unexpected. And at the same time, I've had a lot of people that are having, and I mean several people I've connected with this week, having relationship change. Like,
Yeah.
and what I'm hearing right now too is we're going to see more and more the alignment shifts that are based on free will of each individual of where their perspective and reality is. And so more and more, for those of us that are tuning into this, so everyone watching this, you have an alignment that is moving forward, meaning you're going to experience things that are, we'll say, supernatural. We'll say you're going to see, feel, notice things, especially during the upcoming year, that are more in line with the awakening. And so at the same time, those that are focused more in, not that we don't all have these thoughts, but the bills to pay, I've got to do this, that are moving in that energy, it doesn't mean that these shifts of energy don't affect them, but it means that their reality is going to be more focused differently. And many of us are going to see more and more that difference, that observation of seeing these realities existing at the same time. And some people you might hear this in many communities talking about timeline splits. So in my experience and what I believe is that our ascending our consciousness and ascending to a higher dimension, that is our, as we experience it here on earth, that is our perspective, our consciousness focused into, let's say, a higher observation. So we're seeing new things, we're seeing things deeper, we're seeing things in layers, but at the same time, we're still viewing the other realities as well. So just keep that in mind, as each and every one of us are moving through from day to day. Keep in mind that you may be saying, oh my gosh, like, did people not see this? Did they not hear this? How could somebody not have the awareness to this? Keep in mind that if you're not focused in that way, you're not going to see it. Or you might hear something. It's funny because somebody that I was listening to the other day, they were talking about how they were actually talking about the drones and what was going on in the skies and all these things. And they're like, this person didn't notice a thing. They haven't heard about the drones. They haven't seen it. They don't know what it means. And they were just like, I don't have time for that. And they're like, how can they not see what's happening in our world? How everything is shifting. And that right there is a perfect example. That's just not where their consciousness is. And that is not a judgment or a bad thing or anything. That's just the way they are in that moment. That's just where they're at now. That being said, and I'm gonna put this out here, and I'm gonna preface that I have absolutely no idea exactly how this is gonna unfold. But I want to say this.
Okay.
Something is going to happen in the next 2 weeks. Something.
Okay.
I don't know what it is, but the
Okay.
momentum, and I know I'm not the only one that feels this, but this momentum of energy, it feels like I just heard the race to the finish line. I don't know what that means, but it feels like almost like a chain of events.
Okay.
And as I'm saying this, remember, this feels like not something that's happening to us directly that we're in. It's observing. It's things that we're going to observe in the world that is bringing about change. Because we are experiencing the world faster and faster, our own realities. We're experiencing the collapsing of time. There is this energy that is very present, that is almost like a don't look over here. Don't look over here. Everybody keep looking this way. So when you're being directed to look over this way, it doesn't mean you need to search for what exactly is it. It just means keep your eyes wide open. Don't be distracted by all the things you hear or see. Keep open. Because if you jump down too many rabbit holes, especially right now, you're not going to give yourself the experience of being able to really see what's going on. I know that's very cryptic, and I'm sorry, because I don't know how to put the details in, because I don't have them. I just have the energy.
It kind of goes, I got a message yesterday, and it was, you're nearly there. So, like, I don't know, that's really weird. That kind of goes with what you just said.
Race to the finish line.
Yeah. I know.
It's going to be really interesting to see what takes place. And we've talked about this before, but everybody look at the Schumann resonance. Watch it, study it, look at the patterns, and watch how, because remember, what's happening in our individual lives is also happening on a larger scale. It always breaks down the patterns that we see. We can read those patterns within ourselves, within our communities, our collective, the earth. And the Schumann resonance is measuring the biofield. It's measuring all beings on the earth. It's measuring the energy. So it really doesn't always get paid attention to enough to really see what's going on, because we can gather a lot of information about our collective and a lot of information about what's happening in the world. And what's so interesting is think about animals, about what we know about animals. We know that animals will sense something before it comes.
Mm-hmm.
When there's a big storm, when there is, they start to retreat, when weather's about to get cold in our northern areas of the world, when it's about to get cold and they begin to hibernate, animals will always give us a warning. And I did a channeling years ago that I believe it was on animals, and Eric brought through some information. He was talking about in some of the times where in tribes and in some of these smaller communities, they used nature. They used the plants, they used the animals to be able to predict their own safety, to be able to predict,
Well,
the
that's like the
behavior.
Farmer's Almanac, right?
Yes, yes,
Like they even
yes,
like the caterpillars tell you something. Yeah.
yes. So the Schumann resonance is it's everything biological. So it's going to be
Yeah.
measuring everything. So keep that
Yeah.
in mind. There's a lot of good information that's coming there. So when you see these spikes or you see it go off the charts, think about what's happening in the world right now. And start to look at those patterns. It's a lot of information. So that felt important to get that out. Interesting when there's something in there that I need to speak. I get this sense of, oh, I've got to tell you, even if I don't know what
Okay.
it is that I've got to tell you. And now that I've said it, I'm like,
Okay, good. Well, all right. Next 2 weeks, we'll find out what.
well,
Why? Why are you laughing?
I'm just laughing because I'm like this, and you're like, well, yep.
Oh, yeah.
I know. I feel like the crazy one, and you're the calm one. That's what I'm getting at. Yeah. Maren always
No, I'm
brings me back
excited to see what
around.
the next 2 weeks brings us.
Yeah. Well, we will see, and of course, we will talk about it for sure. So, guess what I brought today?
Does it start with an S?
Yes, it does. It does. So, I brought my spirit box. I'll show you what it's the box.
Okay.
Okay, it's the box. My
Okay.
spirit box. That's the one that I have. Now, it's not the SB7, which is in my opinion, is like the top of the line, but this is the one that I have, and
Okay.
it's the one that I've been playing with. So it's also it's an EVP research device. So it does the scanning, it scans the channels, and I can also use it as a recorder to speak and get things back. The thing is that what I have noticed is with the EVP, you have to have headphones to listen back in when you record it. So we probably aren't going to hear anything on this unless I go back in and listen to it with a set of headphones. But
Okay.
I thought we would just play with the scanner, see if
Okay.
anything comes through. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But we'll just see. So I'm not an expert on this. I do not have loads of experience. I have lots of interest and always have. But I
Okay.
did have a recording device. Let's see, I think Rob, my husband, he bought me, gosh, this is like 10 years ago now. He bought me an EVP recorder for my birthday. And this was the night, actually, this was a pretty big one. I'll just tell you quickly. I was playing with it, and his grandmother had passed away in the days prior. And I was playing with the EVP and asking her if she was there. and our lights were flickering in the dining room. They were going on and off.
Whoa, whoa,
It was
whoa,
just
whoa.
myself and Rob, and Marcus was just
Okay.
little. He was in bed, and our girls were downstairs. Well, within like 3 minutes, Maya comes running up the stairs, and she was maybe 11 at the time. She comes running up the stairs, like yelling, going, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God." And she's trying to catch her breath, and she says, and Gigi is this is the story from last week with the bird and the
Yes.
prescription counter. Okay. So Gigi had manifested her image. So Maya was sitting in our basement in our family room watching TV, and she saw a light in the ceiling. And she looked up and she thought it was a reflection from the TV at first. And she looked up and then she went back to the TV, and the light dropped right in front of her. And it looked like she says it was like a still image. And then the image faded going into the back wall. And she saw the whole
Okay.
thing. So that happened at the same time we
Wow.
were calling her, and the lights were
Wow.
going, and she came out. So that was a very
Wow.
validating. She didn't know what we were doing upstairs, right?
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. So that was
Oh
my
my
first
gosh.
experience with something like that. But that EVP recorder was not a very good one. I gotta put my glasses on because I can't see. Okay, all right. So we're gonna turn it on,
Okay.
and we want to see FM mode.
What did that say?
It said FM mode, so I'm gonna wait a minute. I'm gonna turn it down so everybody doesn't hear that. I'm gonna change it to AM. So you can, on this one, you can speed up the channels. So what it actually is, for anybody who doesn't know, is it's scanner. So it scans the frequencies, the radio frequencies that are available. So you can
Oh, okay.
actually listen to a radio station if you wanted to through it, right? But
So this is
what,
that whole like white noise theory that like spirits can speak through the white noise.
yes,
Okay.
yes. And
Okay.
so the science of it, basically, and I mean, I'm just giving you like the basic of what I understand, but the science of it is that because it's frequency. So think about
Mm-hmm.
like our thoughts, about our emotions, and all the conversations that we have about manifestation. So we understand that radio channels, we hear them, we can manipulate with them, we can listen to them. And so we are energy, we are frequency. We know that radio channels exist, but we don't see. We do not see the frequencies. Okay, so without our physical bodies, we are still frequency. We are a higher frequency. We do not any longer have the density of the physical body, of the personality that's connected to the body. So we are then a higher frequency, but what can be done is that spirits have the ability to be able to manipulate the frequency and use use words, just like the Merry Christmas that happened for us that day, which was absolutely the coolest thing ever. Hint, hint, spirit, if you want to do something like that again, that'd be really great. But just like that, they can manipulate the energy to be able to say a word or to, because they don't have a voice box. It's not coming from their voice. It's manipulation
Right.
of the frequency that's available,
Yeah.
right? And of course, if you want to learn more about that, like Hope Paranormal, Josh Hope, Huff Paranormal, they have spirit boxes that are amazing, and they've been studying that technology and building them for a very long time. And I would recommend going and
Okay.
watching them too. So
Josh Hope. Okay. Yeah, that's who when I said you said you got a spirit box. I was like, is it from the guy that was Josh Hope? Because I know
I
you've
know
mentioned him
I
before.
wish I wish
Yeah.
I would really
But
love to have one of those.
all of that makes sense to me because, oh,
Okay, go
I
ahead.
thought that she said something or it said something.
It was
Um,
I just changed it to Am.
okay. All of that makes sense to me because when I feel like the taps and the pushes and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
it reminds me of when I had electrical stimulation done on
Mm-hmm.
my muscle. I tore my knee muscle. And so they would do like electric stim is what they call it, or they put electrical pulses into your muscles and it makes your muscles move. And I'm like, that's exactly what it feels like when spirit touches me. It's like different than a muscle
Yes.
spasm because sometimes it's like a
Yes.
whole bunch of, it's like, you know,
Yes.
it's the way that the
Yes.
electrical stim felt. And so like I
Yeah.
know they have
Yeah.
this electrical
Yes.
ability to
Yeah.
manipulate things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's absolutely fascinating. But once you realize the feelings and the sensations and that just is happening by the more you do it, the more you recognize it, the more awareness that you put to it, the more trust
Yeah.
that you know that, okay, yes, I know that's what it is, then it
Yeah.
solidifies and happens more and more as we've talked
Yeah.
about for many years now. So, okay, I'm going to give this a scan. So what I'm going to do
Okay.
is, so it says it's on AM right now.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to speed up the rate. So it allows me to go up to a maximum of 4.
Okay.
And I'm going to turn it up. So if you guys don't want to hear the white noise, turn it down.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I wonder what we put a noise, background noise cancellation. So I wonder if it'll cancel that out
It
when I
might.
don't know. I
Okay,
might
so
have to.
I'm going to hit
Okay.
scan. So the first thing that
Okay.
we're going to do is we're going to ask for our guides, spirits, angels, uh, spirits that have the highest intentions that are here that would like to leave us a message or would like to share something with our community. And give me a break, spirits, because I'm new playing around with this. So it would be kind of fun if you could, you know, do a little something to show everybody how this works. So I'm going to hit the scan button and we'll see
Okay.
what happens. So is anybody
Okay.
here? Is there anybody here that would like to say hello?
I have goosebumps.
Can you give us a name of who you are? Could you give us a number? Could you give us a number of how many spirits are here with us?
Lucky.
11.
11.
Did you hear that? Would you be able to say a name? Could you say my name, Michelle, or could you say Maren's name? Can you tell us who's here?
I didn't hear like it sounded like Aiden or something. I don't know.
Can you, for everybody that's listening, can you say a name? Can you
It was
say a
probably
name? Yeah. We're not hearing you too clearly. Would you be able to clearly, as best as you can, say a name for somebody that's listening? Molly? Molly?
Molly.
Wally? Do we have any angels here? Can you tell us what angel is present? Sorry, I talked over you. What angel is here? Can you give us a word to describe what Maren and I were feeling when we were talking about something coming in the next 2 weeks?
What was it? It either sounded like open or hope to me.
I think you said opened it. Opened it. Could you give us another word that we could clearly hear?
I heard huckledebuck. I don't know. It comes through so fast.
Do you have a message that you would like to share with anybody here? Anyone listening? Angels. We just want to say that we love you and we thank you for coming on and talking with us today. Is there anything that you want to leave us with before we say goodbye?
What did he think? What? What was it?
Can you give us that one more time? Well,
Fluff?
all right, one last time, we're going to shut it off. One last word as clearly and loudly as you can. It was the same word again.
I heard poop. I don't know.
It sounded something like that. Eric, is that you? Eric, are you messing around here?
What? What was it? I couldn't make it out.
I can't either. Okay, we'll give you one last chance. One last chance. One more time. Eric, say one more thing. I can feel you. What's the most important?
Oops. We spoke over him. Sorry.
What's the most important thing that everybody has to remember right now for themselves? Buzz.
Oh, I heard focus.
We'll shut it off there. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
and here's what's
Now
interesting.
I
That
see why in the
earphones,
videos they like earphones and then they slow it down so
yeah.
that you can like really, because otherwise it goes so fast. Wow, that's
So
so cool.
when we're listening, so you guys that are listening, if you can clearly hear anything, the energy, I know you were feeling it. When we asked for the number, the 11 was very clear
Mm-hmm.
because we both heard that one. But some of
Mm-hmm.
them you kind of, and you have to be careful because your mind can kind of tell you, like, when you hear
Mm-hmm.
it a certain way. So some of them that aren't as clear. So if you guys are listening with headphones and you can tune into it, put in the comments with the timestamp of which one, and put in the comment like what it is that you heard, and we'll see if we kind of figure that out. But we could feel
Yeah.
the
Ghost
energy.
detectives.
So it's so
Yes.
interesting because when we turned it on, I wasn't feeling anything, and then when it started, I could feel it coming on both
Yeah.
sides like that.
Yeah.
So
Um,
they were here and playing.
So I have to say that is how when I do a reading, names come through. So like if you were trying to connect with someone named Eric, I would
Right.
hear Aiden because it starts with a vowel, which is what his name
Oh,
is, and it's like a shorter name, instead of like Alexander would I would have heard like, Ichabod. I don't know.
right.
So like but it like matches a little bit. So
Right.
Aiden and Eric, that's how it comes
It
through for me
did
in
sound like
reading.
Aiden. It did
Yeah.
sound like that. Yeah.
Hmm.
That's interesting. Well, I'm very
Well, I
excited.
never say someone's name in a reading. I'm always like, I have a man with a short name.
Yeah, I very seldom, like, I'll get sometimes I'll get like sounds like, so I might see something, like I might see or I'll get like the I was actually explaining this to a lady yesterday in a session. I was telling her how we're just talking about the vibration and how I hear, and I was just saying how, like, you'll get a word or get a phrase or get like a song lyrics, but I hear inside my own, like, it's my own head, my own voice.
Hmm.
And then sometimes it's mostly feeling. Sometimes it's a combination of seeing images and feeling, but I don't hear like they're speaking to me in real time. That's not how
Hmm.
it works for me. So it's just very interesting because when it comes to names, there have been times where the name will just pop right in. And then other times, it's like I know it's gender. I know that it might be a short name or a
Hmm.
nickname or something like that. But um, and I know that's something that you can work with spirit to, because it's all part of developing your vocabulary. So exactly like how you're doing it, and it's the process of discovery. So it's the trust of doing it and continuing to do it and being willing to be wrong, and also knowing that it's not necessarily always wrong. It's just the interpretation of what you're
Hmm.
getting. And that's why in my sessions I just blurt it. This is what I see, this is what I hear, this is what I feel. And I let the person that's sitting with me to put it together to make sense, because
Yeah.
I don't know your loved one. I
Yeah.
didn't live with your loved one. I don't have the experience. I am the messenger that's working through the vibration and able to put it together. And the more that the person on the other side of the screen or of the chair or whatever, the more that they're able to go, yes, that makes sense. And yes, then it locks that connection.
Yeah.
It's like connection made, and then more conversation and things are able to happen because it's all energy, it's all
Yeah.
vibration. That's how it works.
So cool.
But anyway, I
Well, thank
suppose
you
we
for
better wrap
sharing
up.
that.
No, it's
We
cool. That
definitely
was
need a round
fun.
two because that was
Yeah,
super cool. And wait, I thought literally we were going to be waiting that whole time for one little word. I can't believe
yeah,
we got that many words in that short amount of time.
yeah. That was fun. It was fun. And there's
Unbelievable.
someone in the comments, and I was saying this to you, Maren. There's someone in the comments that commented that they have experience with the REM pod,
Oh,
the
yeah.
spirit box. So if you know who you are, and I commented underneath your post and thought it'd be really fun if you joined us sometime and came up and talked about your
Yeah.
experiences with it and your knowledge, and share that, because we're all learning. We're all learning.
Yeah.
So this
That
is
would be
fun.
really cool. I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Very
All
cool.
right. Well, another great another great time had by all,
Yes.
including all
Yes.
11 of
Oh,
the
and
spirits that are here.
I want to say a little caveat too about the sound. I'm always concerned about the sound. So we have like something that takes out the background noise. I'm worried that it will take out that entire
Yeah.
thing. So I might
Okay.
not click that, I'll listen to it both ways.
Okay.
So that way, we make sure that you get the best sound for that portion. So if today's
Sounds good.
recording, if I don't click that and then today sounds really backgroundy or different or something, that's why I'm not clicking that. So just
Okay.
bear with us so that you get the
Good.
best.
Thank you.
The
Thanks,
best.
Maren.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Have a wonderful week, everybody. We love you. Stay calm, positive, focused, and take a deep breath and know that we are all together in this. And we will see you next time, next Monday.
Sounds good. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.